Welcome to Write for Joy. My name's Allie Cross. I'm a USA Today best-selling author and certified life coach. I have chased joy my whole life until one day I realized I already had it. I found my joy, and now my goal is to help you find yours. Joy is all around us, so let's see if we can grab some of it for ourselves today. I'm Allie Cross, and this is Write for Joy. Hi, everyone. I am joined by Robin Glassey. Robin and I grew up just 1 hour away from each other, but we didn't actually meet until 2,000 miles and 50 years later. That just kind of blows my mind how small the world is. Like, who would have thought? It's just fun and awesome. And I'm so happy to have met her. Robin is an award-winning author of young adult fantasy, a poet, essayist, and speaker. Robin has faced some unique challenges in her life. One particular time, she turned to writing as a way to deal with grief after a loss. So we are going to talk about writing today, and in particular, where she finds joy in the writing. But first, Robin, you are allowed to speak. I know it's hard when you're talking to me. Tell us a little bit about your books, where your passion lies in the things that you write.
It's interesting because with the books that I write, I did turn to writing because of loss, but actually the books that I write mostly it's epic YA fantasy. And I've actually found that when I was younger, I wanted to escape through fantasy. And so that's actually the genre that I turn to in order to deal with things. I really enjoy writing epic fantasy, which was the genre that I love to read. I write clean YA fantasy and also some near future fiction. And it has to do with characters who are trying to discover themselves. They're trying to figure out, who they are, what their place is in the world, what their destiny is. And I like doing that because I remember myself as a teenager trying to figure out, who I was. There's all those messy things, self-esteem. I have the form of depression. And I really struggled with as a teenager. And I think that's relevant for so many teens today, things like anxiety and depression. Even though my stories are something that are entertaining, there's magic and there's weird creatures and sword and sorcery. There's still also these themes of trying to figure out who you are, what your place is, who your people are, those kinds of things. So you can still find all kinds of underlying themes that can really help you.
Have you found yourself? I don't
Yes.
think I'd actually figured out who I was until like maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really the wonderful thing that uh, I didn't realize as I was first writing this series that I was going through my own healing journey. At first, I was just writing and it was a distraction, but then it became purposeful. It became a purposeful healing journey. Like the main character, Tika, she discovers that she's a healer. And it wasn't conscious at the time, but then it became a conscious journey for me. It really was very healing. And I think that that can be helpful for people as they read as well to kind of go through their own healing journey.
In writing, we learn about the hero's journey, but it's actually so apropos for our own lives as well. And I think that is the science, that's happening in our brains when we read books, when we write them, because we get to be this character living a life that is maybe a caricature of our own emotional journey. We can grow in our own lives because of the growth that we sort of internalize as we're reading, because we are living our own hero's journey in our own lives. There are plenty of podcasts to talk about that. And I think it's a fantastic topic, but it's not mine. So let's talk about joy. I'm a fan of joy. And I know you are too, from the things that we've talked about and your personal missions in life for yourself. So happy that you agreed to come on my baby podcast. So I want to know, Where do you find joy in your writing?
There's a few different areas. So one is the personal joy, right? Of being able to just sit down and, for example, I'm here, I'm gonna like turn my computer. A part of me wanted to go out on the patio, but it was too noisy. So I'm in Kauai and it's so noisy out there because there are so many birds. There's all different kinds of
Oh,
birds. There's the ocean out there. And I was like, it will be so distracting. But it's beautiful. It's peaceful. And one of the things that I love to do is not even just writing stories, but doing what are called writing minutes. And a lot of writers are familiar with that. Writing minutes. Writing minutes, like my stomach is even just like relaxing thinking about it. So it would be just like sitting in the moment and you can take anything. So I did this yesterday with a leaf that was right close to me and it looked like fabric. Even though it was a dead leaf, it looked like fabric, and so I took some time to just describe what it looked like. So, you could just say a brown dead leaf, or you could take some time to actually describe and draw it out and give it a bigger description. You can take how you're feeling, how your body's feeling, and you just start describing it, or really you're just offloading what's going on in your brain. Writing minutes can be really good for just kind of like vomiting out what's in your head, and it can actually prepare you to do your actual book writing or
so how
whatever.
does this differ from morning pages?
It can be the same as morning pages, but I just call them writing minutes. And the cool thing about it is a lot of times these things that I write down, sometimes I'll go back to them. I'll go, wow, I love this description of what I did of a tree or the wind or the ocean or even thoughts that I was having about a particular event. And it can become up because sometimes it ends up being very lyrical. But I mean, there was a couple ladies who walked past on the beach, and one of the ladies said, "Oh, Mitchell ended up being drunk at the baby shower, and I haven't seen him since." And I was just like, "Wow, that's a story right there," but I think of joy a little bit differently. I think of joy as being peaceful. It's peace. It brings me peace when I write. So that's a personal joy. And then there's the joy of doing something for the readers. And when I write stories, I think about what is it that will help my readers. I mentioned earlier about writing stories that can help readers relate or can help them with their personal journeys. With, for example, one of my near future stories, it has to do with a character who's addicted to virtual reality games. You're not writing perfect characters, you're writing characters that people can relate to, they can find themselves in the story. Like you were talking about being the hero and going, I can do this. I can survive. I'm living through challenges, but I can get through. I can find a way to be a hero in my own journey. And so I find peace and I find joy in putting stories out. Then people go, I really enjoyed this. There's joy in that. And then I also find joy and find peace and happiness in helping other writers. I've had so many writers who have helped me along the way in my journey. And then it's looking for opportunities to give back and help encourage other writers. There have been times when I've been like, I just want to give up. You have those days where you just feel like, is anybody out there? Am I doing anything? Am I accomplishing anything? Or, maybe you hit a wall. And then there's been so many people who have encouraged me and lifted me and strengthened me. And so then I want to do that back. I want to give back. If that makes sense. And there's joy.
Robin's really active in our local community, and you do a beautiful job. We feel your touch. I think you are succeeding in
Oh,
creating an environment that is welcoming. I do really admire the work that you've been doing. And as I've gotten to know you and know a little bit of your struggles, both personally and with your family and everything, we all have struggles, but it's all so quiet, right? We
yeah.
never know what's happening in people's lives. And that you found an outlet that not only helped you process your pain, but has allowed you to find personal joy. to give joy and then to help other people around you who are striving to do the same thing, that's a kind of miracle, I think. And
Well,
so I
I
love that you're doing that.
and it's important for me sometimes it's hard for me to find words, but I've learned through my own personal struggles that it helps other people to
Yeah,
realize they're not alone in the things that they're struggling about. And that's not the same. Some people, they're not comfortable about talking about
yeah,
the things that are going on, or they're afraid to talk about them. I'm dealing seasonal affective disorder, I'm dealing with ADHD, or I'm dealing with, you know, whatever it is, fill in the blank. I'm dealing with migraines or I
yeah.
have some chronic health problems. And so in talking about it, then other people go, "Oh wow, you're dealing with that? I'm dealing with that." It has brought me together with so many different people and open up conversations.
Easier for you to show up in an authentic way,
Yes,
but doing so is another way that brings joy into your life and touches others in a positive way.
absolutely.
I really loved how you define joy, and it is now going to become a regular part of this thing because we do all see it a little differently.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for that. And I feel that you brought a beautiful message to this show today. Thank you so much. Is there
You.
anything that you would like to share that you would like people to know about you?
Just one thing I would just say that if you're, for example, a writer with ADHD, then you can check out my helpful tips and tools for ADHD writers.
Gotta go check that out.
Yeah, I do have Pink Cotton Press.
Yeah.
I some notebooks that I have created, and a couple of them are mental health related. One is Anxiety Cat, another one is Nope Cat. So if you do like cute notebooks, then you can just go on Amazon. So those are fun too.
Thank you so much, Robin. I
Allie,
hope that this show becomes a thing so that more
me
people
too.
can discover you and support your work and also learn from you and grow because I think that that's what you bring is you help other people grow. So thank you for being
Appreciate
on
it.
the show with me today and for being your awesome self.
Thank you, Allie.
Thanks again, Robin. See ya.